This fella Ronaldo is a cod.
Arsene Wenger's been in Japan for a year. He doesn't know anything about English football.
I will love it if we beat them.
This is football heritage.
Con Giovanni, incredible. Dribble.
If you don't know the answer to that question, then I think you are an ostrich.
And that's a wrap on the 2018-19 football season. Any fond memories?
It was a very a forgettable season in a lot of ways.
It promised so much and delivered so little.
Yeah, because we're like on the grander, like kind of European scale, we had everyone held serve.
It's the first
everyone
time
retained the titles.
It's the first time the top 5 leagues have had every championship retained ever. So that'll tell you what you need to know about the season.
European, the classic, like you could say there's a bit to be looked back fondly on in the European side of things in the Champions League when we had Spurs getting to their first Champions League final.
Like that whole run, the knockout rounds was probably the highlight of the season for me. The craziness of it all. Yeah,
there's a bit to it. Like I don't think it's as classic as other knockout rounds. Like Spurs' journey itself wasn't. I think Ajax one would be a lot more held fondly in people's memories, but Spurs one was kind of a complete calamity. They like snatch victory from the jaws of defeat every time, and it was usually not down to their own brilliance, but more down to the opposition's being absolutely crazy.
It was manic enough that I'll remember it well.
Yeah,
but I think Ajax is probably the better story if they had gotten to the final, which they didn't. They
didn't in the end. But then you had the old European faithful teams just called collapsing in their own ways. Bayern not really doing what they were meant to do. Paris Saint-Germain, of course, you're having another Paris Saint-Germain season. And going out to Manchester United in ridiculous circumstances.
As we move further away from that, I do stand by the fact that the 6-1 was way more humiliating, because I've seen people compare the two.
No, yeah, it was definitely like they knew what they had to do, like, which is awful worry about Unai Emery, but in a larger extent as a manager. But they knew what they had to do, and they went in, and they were even happy losing 5-1. Like that's what they were like, and like, why would you be happy with that? But they were. And that kind of is a bad sign. And then like who else? Like Real Madrid obviously had another one of their weird seasons like they've had in the past between managers, and they brought back an old manager again.
Even Juventus to an extent. This is the worst season they had under Allegri, I would argue.
Yeah, well, they won the league comfortably enough without actually having to do too much. They weren't impressive.
Yeah, they were never impressive. They never performed that well.
Ronaldo's kind of destabilised the whole squad mechanics and the balance that was in that side, plus the fact that their defenders are that bit much older. Bonucci obviously does not get along with the rest of the defenders anymore, as has been, but what was it when he was signed back, re-signed at the beginning of the season was Chiellini, because it was a transfer of money plus one of the young defenders,
Caldera,
and it's like Chiellini said, well, we've sold the future of the club to bring back the old. And he wasn't very complimentary of Bonucci coming back or anything that had happened. So yeah, Juventus are in a bit of a weird situation. They still haven't appointed a manager at this point, so we don't know where they're going. Even though it's 4 weeks before they have to start figuring out what they're going to do next season. Ronaldo and that whole thing, he's destabilised their balance of it. But they won the league. He still scored goals. He still pulled them out of positions. But I don't know if he's made that team any better than it would have if they actually had a functioning centre forward with like Dybala actually allowed to play. Or not being just relegated.
Yes, it was probably Dybala's worst season at Juve as well.
It has been,
which is a shame.
His goals went down by 60%. I think.
They were well down. Yeah, and assists as well.
Yeah, and it's because he's not playing. And if he is playing, he's not the main guy. Like he was a false nine for Juventus, and now he's what? Because Ronaldo's a kind of a traditional number 9, but coming in from the left, so you have to accommodate him, and you don't really have space to play at 9 or to even play a traditional 10. You have to have someone doing the running behind him. And that's not Dybala, so they've kind of sacrificed his talent. And I wouldn't be surprised if Ronaldo, the legal situation surrounding Ronaldo stabilises in some way, and he's still there next season, and everything's still okay for him. That Dybala looks for another club.
Yeah, it's been reported that he's looking for a new club, or that Juve are looking to get rid of him, one or the other. So it'll be interesting to see where he could go. Well, he is a bit of a weird player. Like he couldn't just walk into any team.
No, but like the teams he could walk into are kind of they're shortening in length. Like he could have gone to Real Madrid, but now they have Hazard. Like they're kind of that's two players who carry with that kind of.
He's kind of in the same position as maybe James Rodriguez is in, where you wonder like.
I think he's better. I think he's better placed now because he's closer as a player to the likes of like he's not like Coutinho who's kind of just trapped, and James Rodriguez to a lesser extent who was just trapped because they play a very particular kind of football which it doesn't involve them doing a lot of what pressing in the modern game or kind of doing stuff off the ball. They're kind of just there for a Hollywood moment. Yeah,
and like it leaves these players in just a weird position because obviously they're highly talented, but you just wonder where they fit in the modern game.
Yeah, but like I think Dybala is closer to Griezmann than he is to James.
But even then, like Griezmann's linked with Barcelona, obviously.
Griezmann is also in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, and like if he doesn't go to Barcelona, I don't even know where he could go after that. Like obviously Ed Woodward's always knocking about.
Oh yeah, like.
But
there's plenty of clubs in England who would take him.
But
I don't think he'd go to England.
A club where he actually suited his style and stuff like that.
There isn't many like current like Bayern. Obviously, I don't know what their long term plans are, but from the signings and the way they're moving things around, I don't think they'd be into signing someone of that.
Yeah, they're looking for that more traditional wide player in Leroy Sané, who even then isn't actually that traditional. Wide player,
but they need runners as well, which is not what I know. Griezmann does cover a lot of ground and he does press well from the front four. A centre forward, but I don't know if that's where Bayern are going to go.
They have Thomas Muller as well.
Yeah, well, for now.
Player.
Yeah, I don't know. Again,
another player who I just don't know where he could go.
Yeah, his career has kind of peaked very early, and
that kind of number 10 position is such an awkward one right now. It's like Ozil even at Arsenal. If Ozil he wanted to leave Arsenal, I don't know where he could go either.
His best man Ergun from
that was weird,
bizarre to say the least.
Yeah. But then the actual Champions League final did take place, which is, I think, put a dampener on the old Champions League season because it was just so underwhelming. It
was a bad game.
It really was.
There really wasn't any. Like the only thing you could say is Jurgen Klopp's post-match celebrations were the only redeeming factor.
What was that song?
Let's talk about 6, baby. Let's talk about. He had the whole thing down.
Yeah, to the point where you wonder was he like getting this ready?
Oh, he must have had it ready. There's no doubt in my mind he must have had it ready. You don't because he had that right to go at the end of at full time, and then he did all his little funny.
That almost just makes me want to examine his psyche more.
Yeah. You also had Jordan Henderson hugging his father. He hasn't really spoken to him the last few months because he's been undergoing cancer treatment, and his father didn't want to be negatively impacting his son as an important time of the season, so he didn't see him for a few months. So that was an awkward situation, but apparently that was a very heartfelt moment. Apparently, I don't feel things. I don't know. But other than that match was awful. Like Tottenham, whether they didn't show up, like obviously Harry Kane was coming back from injury. And Harry Winks was also coming back from injury.
Yeah, that was kind of that's what we talked about before the match. But at the end of the day,
Nobody did anything. Nobody showed up. You saw really, wow, this really is the. Where did Tottenham finish in the end?
4th.
They really are the 4th best team in England.
But like, they did create a couple of chances in the second half. But obviously because they lost, it's easy to criticise. Oh, you played Harry Kane. That was obviously the wrong decision. I actually think Harry Kane played all right, considering he's been out for 2-3 months. Yeah. Maybe Harry Winks would have been better on the bench.
But it's not just them. No one really performed. Like Son had an off game because his first touch deserted him on 2 occasions where it was crucial. Other than that, he had a good run around. Christian Eriksen did nothing, and then immediately said that he'd already told the club he wanted to leave.
Yeah, that was a really awkward place as well.
Whether that was playing on his mind going into the match, I don't know. Dele Alli had a horrible match, and I was surprised he didn't go 2-footed into somebody. So I suppose that's progress on his part. He didn't kill anybody.
Dele Alli's had a weird couple of seasons.
Bad season. Like he's had a couple of moments here or there where he's shown something, but he's not there at the moment for England. He's not where you want him to be. For like a starting number 10 is in. It's another one of those 10s, but in this game that they're playing at the moment, he doesn't fit. Like he's too much of a passenger too often, and it's when he's on form and he can score the goals like he did against Crystal Palace. Was that last season, that goal against Crystal Palace?
Oh, that was a good while ago. I think that was his first season.
No, it wasn't. It was there at least
the one where he flicked it over his head. Yeah, that was his first season with Tottenham.
Yeah, like we're a while away from that kind of like. Not those type of moments, but even the form he was showing at that point, we're a bit away from that play.
Yeah, I feel like he peaked when this Tottenham team peaked.
Yeah,
which was the year Chelsea won the league.
Yeah, the one after Leicester. Yeah.
But
yeah, they've been on the way down, and this was kind of the last. What do they call it? The
last hurrah, I suppose.
Yeah, like the second win before the fall. You know, this is the last bit of like just clinging to the
chance at actual silverware,
and they kind of blew it. And it's no doubt, it's no wonder that Pochettino has been saying, oh, maybe I will leave, or maybe, I will leave whether we win or whether we lose, and everyone kind of ignores him because he is posturing to see what Daniel Levy does, which is a bad relationship to really be in when you think about it. It's the kind of thing Harry Redknapp used to do when he was at war with his board at West Ham and stuff like that, or even at Spurs, or QPR, or any club that Harry Redknapp actually was at, where you kind of posture to try and get more of a transfer budget. And it's like, well, no, like you're meant to be you're on the same side. You're meant to be working together, and like, why are you kind of hanging this Damocles sword over your chairman that you might leave when you be on the same team? Like, you should be working together, and you shouldn't be saying things to try and get an added transfer budget or make the chairman actually sign a player, which he hasn't done in over a year.
Yeah, like this Tottenham side is in, like, we will get to the whole transfer window later, but like they're the side that probably needs the most work just because they've come to the natural end of a cycle.
Yeah,
but
they came to it more than a year ago. I would.
Yeah, but I think
didn't sign anybody then.
Losing a Champions League final, I think, is a pretty.
It's put a full stop.
Yeah, exactly. So they need probably the most work, especially with players like Eriksen posturing for a move away.
Yeah, with Eriksen posturing for a move away, the likes of Dele Alli maybe not fitting into the current structure the way he plays. Who else has been linked?
Like the fullbacks, Alderweireld with a low release clause this summer as well.
Yeah,
$25 million.
A load of different clubs to take him.
Of the top six, maybe the second least amount of confidence in them that they'll spend, with Arsenal being the least.
Well, spend,
Yeah, to actually spend, So
Arsenal aren't going to spend anything.
Like I think they will spend, but I don't think they'll spend enough to.
Well, considering they would have made 400 million in the last 2 seasons, this season and last season, that they didn't spend any money on. So that technically, I know we don't hold cash in the bank and they've had the stadium to pay for and everything like that, but like, that's liquid, that's money that's coming in from TV rights and from sponsorship and from prize money that they haven't touched.
Well, I have to imagine a lot of that is going into the stadium.
Yeah, but then you look at Liverpool, and Liverpool's now a club that's run at a huge, like, it's not flush with cash either, and what they've done in in a similar time frame with similar resources in terms of, and they've managed to go out and sign a hugely expensive goalkeeper, which made their team better. They managed to sign the best centre half in the Premier League, which made their team better.
Well, that is the difference between the two. Like, Liverpool decided they wanted to compete here and now and build a squad that they have, and it brought them a Champions League.
Yeah, and it's worked out on them as well, because not only did it win them the trophy, but it also improved their position in revenue, because sometimes you have to spend money to make money, and the signings of Van Dijk and Alisson and whoever else they've signed, Keita and Fabinho, among others, have really pushed them up that extra tier from being a top 6.
They're kind of a super club now.
Yeah, to being a guaranteed top. Like we've broken the top. The top teams are broken into 2 distinct groups. You have the teams challenging for the league title, which currently are Liverpool and Man City, and Spurs were in that until this season. And now you have, that's one group, and then the secondary group, which are just challenging for Champions League football, which is Man United, Arsenal, Chelsea and Spurs now.
But it's interesting that the Champions League final ended up being 2 teams that had such different philosophies when they were at such a similar point, when they both hired Klopp and Pochettino respectively. Like, so it makes sense that Liverpool were the ones that came out victors, because they were the ones that bought for immediate success. And they were the better team. Divock Origi popped up with his third shot in the Champions League, his third goal.
It's a great show for Jurgen Klopp that he uses a player that was a way to go to Brighton. There was an agreement made for him to go on loan for the season to Brighton, Hove Albion, which is crazy.
Yeah, and then he scores
in Champions League final to win the match, to really end the tie, to end the competition.
Yeah, because at 1-0,
and it's a good finish. Like,
definitely
composed, and Liverpool played well enough to do these things. It was just they were a different class of team. Like, Liverpool really didn't perform to the levels we've seen this season at all, and I'd say most of the teams that would have played this season would have beaten them.
Yeah, because before the match, we were talking about how they had the 3 weeks off, and we were hoping that would lead to them being fitter, more ready to fight. Yeah, fresh. But
you're wrong.
Yeah,
it turns out that's why you play
matches every week.
Yeah,
sometimes
before World Cup they play warm-up matches.
Yeah,
it actually makes sense.
Well, Liverpool did play a warm-up match against the under-20 Benfica side, or some random team like that. So maybe that's what got them over the line.
Maybe.
Virgil van Dijk finishes the season with the statistic that no one's dribbled past him.
Yeah,
successfully.
He's got Ronaldo.
He does have to play Ronaldo yet, but It would be the kind of thing that Ronaldo is like, all right, I know the stat, and I'm going to break the stat.
Yeah.
Because that's just the way that his mind works on the football pitch.
Virgil van Dijk's had a phenomenal season.
Well, he's tipped to win the Ballon d'Or now, which
is crazy.
Yeah, I think like last defender to win it was Cannavaro in 2006.
Yeah, but again, individual awards for team sport, but in the sport that Messi exists, seems ridiculous.
Yeah.
To be honest, like, because the guy's better than everyone.
Well, it just goes to show the Ballon d'Or ultimately is kind of decided by what teams win things.
Trophies, yeah. Well, like, this is the thing. Mo Salah finished, second or third last season? Third,
I think.
Behind Modric and Ronaldo.
Yeah.
And Modric won the Champions League last year?
Yeah, I got to a World Cup final.
Salah won nothing last year, if I'm being correct. And
Ronaldo won a Champions League as well.
Ronaldo won the
didn't
Champions
get a
League
World Cup final.
But like Messi was a European Golden Boot winner, and he won the league title, and he won a Spanish Cup, and he
didn't win a Champions League or World Cup though.
Yeah,
there's two trophies.
I know, but it's a bizarre
like
thing.
Cannavaro won the World Cup in 2006. Like arguably that's why he got
relegated as well.
Yeah, technically.
Juventus got relegated and winning the league in the same season, which is quite a feat.
Yeah, not many.
Only Italian. Yeah, it only seems Italian clubs have managed this feat.
But it would be interesting to see the defender win it, just because then that would be a midfielder and defender 2 years in a row.
Yeah, no,
But yeah, Messi.
I think Ballon d'Or is in for rule changes, and it's either going to be. I think you should just give it to the best player, who is going to be either Messi or Ronaldo most seasons, for now.
Yeah.
Or you make a rule that you can only win it once. Make it like I don't know, some kind of weird prize. You can only win it once.
But then, just to go back to the first goal, actually, I want to bring up the handball from Moussa Sissoko.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm not going to maybe say anything against Sadio Mane, but it did kind of look like he aimed.
Yeah.
For I mean, it got him the penalty, so
But like, it's not. It's you say, I know that you're just going to get, like, Platini came out and said that before. You're just going to get players doing this, but that's the game. Like, how would.
It ruins the spectacle, though.
No, but at the same time it doesn't, because think about if you're on the byline and you're crossing the ball and you have 4 defenders on roughly near the goal line and the keeper. Like, if you're an attacking player crossing the ball there, you're just going to hit the ball as hard as you can, hope it hits the defender right and goes in. It's a standard. It's a way people play football. They always have done that. The ball is, you're allowed to play the ball deflected. It's not like netball where you have to stop. It means rugby league where you stop when you're stopped.
No,
the ball is allowed to be deflected and move around.
It's different to a deflection, though, because this is taking advantage of a terrible rule. Like the way it hits Sissoko, like, it's only a penalty because he moves his arm down in the space of 2 seconds, which is an instinctive reaction to have. And it hits him in the armpit then as well. Or basically more armpit,
they need to.
And it's 20 seconds into a Champions League final. Like, it just was a dampener on the whole affair.
Yeah, kind of true. Well, at the same time, the way the teams went on to play, I didn't think.
Well, I think we
were lucky we got a goal.
No, I don't think. I think the goal actually killed the tie, because the way Liverpool then set out to play was, okay, Tottenham, what are you going to do to try to break us down? We have our lead, which is fair enough. I'm not going to disparage that or anything. But if Liverpool had to come out and attack a bit more because it was 0-0. We might have got a better match out of it. Yeah. So it's been a damper on just the whole thing.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but like, maybe we need a bit more clarity around the handball rule, and I think they're going to do that in the FIFA Congress or something, or it's going to be ratified through all the different tournaments or all the different competitions. It has to be ratified through. But like, make the rule crystal clear. If the ball hits your arm, it's a penalty. And then define what a natural position is or isn't. And if you have your hand out of the way and it stops the ball going past you, and you've used a piece of your body that's illegal in football, then it's a foul, it's a free kick or a penalty. And I think if they just do that and clarify it exactly, everyone will know how they stand. Because if you look, like, it's not going to ruin the game for defending players to adapt to that, because Divock Origi's, although this got criticised, Divock Origi's goal in that match as well, I think it was Toby Alderweireld put both his arms behind his back when he went in to challenge to block him before that ball went in. I don't think if, like, people were saying, oh, this is because he has to put his hands out of the way and that prevented him from blocking the shot. I think Glenn Hoddle or someone like that said something like that. But it's like, I don't think he would have stopped it anymore if he had his hands waving in the air to try and stop him.
No, but like,
the player adapted.
It is different sliding in without your arms and with your arms. Like, you need your arms just for body support.
Yeah, but I think
that's going to stop players doing that.
But Alderweireld had already adjusted his body placement to have his arms behind his back and still be prone to go and dive in, because he did it.
But like, it just stops you being able to, like, it's just more difficult to do.
Yeah, but that's the skill of it. It's more difficult to play with just your hand than just your feet than use your hands. And like goalies have to learn that as well. And we've had a lot of mistakes with ball playing goalies. It's just a rule change. I think the game will advance one way or the other. This is a bit of growing pains we have with VAR to an extent, because previously this season we seem to have a lot of these decisions because of VAR maybe calling attention to them. That would normally just win. Was that a handball?
Well, to be fair to VAR, like the ref gave that.
Yeah, the ref did give it because it did hit his arm. Like I know on replay when we slowed it down to 15 frames a second, 5 frames a second, you saw it hitting. It hit more his arm area, upper arm area, than it hit his hand. But in real motion, it looked more like it came right off his hand, which would have blocked across going into the box. And you're like, oh yeah, that's a penalty. So, it kind of highlighted more that the decision, if we didn't have VAR, I don't think the decision would have been as examined. And if we didn't have the Man United Paris Saint-Germain match earlier this season, or whatever other controversial matches we had with handballs, which I can't remember anymore.
The Tottenham Man City, actually.
Yeah, Tottenham Man City. There was other one as well that's just completely gone.
Yeah, I can't remember it either.
They're growing pains with it, but they happen, and I've already thought about different VAR decisions that have happened this season that were a bit suspect, like Ajax versus Real Madrid and stuff like that. That had a couple of suspect VAR decisions in the first leg, particularly, and I thought they were more, or at least as controversial as the Man United Paris Saint-Germain or this penalty.
Well, the difference
but they've been completely forgotten now.
The difference there is just the Man United decision changed the result of that match, whereas the Ajax one didn't.
Well, it changed the result of
of the first leg. But Ajax still went through
in the end. They went
whereas
through.
Man United went through instead of PSG.
Yeah.
So,
but I think we'll come to terms with it, because the Juventus Ajax, or the Juventus Atletico match, the second leg where Ronaldo scored a goal and everyone played on, but then the ref gave it across the line, and it was like everyone just accepted it, and I think that's just going to be where we're going with it.
Well, that was goal line tech as well, which is hard to disagree with goal line technology.
Yeah, but
well.
I think that's just going to be the VAR decision's been made, and that's it. It's just at the moment they're still in the old, players are still in that old mode, and staff and everyone, that we can intimidate the referee and make the decision happen.
It's just the handball rule is my gripe here. Not I don't have an issue with VAR.
It needs clarification. Like, it is what it is, but it needs clarification.
I don't want to see players aiming for people's hands just because they know they can get a cheap penalty out of it. Cause
it's just another thing of chipping the ball through and then running and making contact with a defender. It's not nice either, but players do it.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems disingenuous. But then, just on a wider reflection for the whole Champions League campaign, while the final was a bit underwhelming, it was one of the worst Champions League finals in a while.
It's been a while since we've had one that bad. Now I can't. What was the last really awful one? Bayern Inter was pretty bad.
2014, I think.
Which one was that?
That was the first Real Madrid Atletico.
Oh yeah,
Real Madrid Atletico.
No, the first Real Madrid Atletico matches were interesting because there were early goals and hanging on, and there was drama there.
But that's just because everyone was kind of rooting for the team that was defending.
Sergio Ramos being Sergio Ramos.
Yeah, coughing up in the 94th minute. I don't think that was a particularly memorable Champions League final.
Not memorable, but in terms of actual quality of game, I think it was better than it was still a better, higher quality player.
But like, if you go back and look at the last 15 Champions League finals, like go back as far as Istanbul. Istanbul obviously was a phenomenal match, but then you go Barcelona, Arsenal. That was a decent match.
There's a lot of chance for both sides. Like and Liverpool, Milan should have been a lot more open than it was, but that was Rafa Benitez trying to outfox Carlo Ancelotti.
Then Man United Chelsea was
a terrible match, but I think the circumstances, the conditions of the pitch,
that match still had like good chances in it,
and it had red cards.
It made for a good highlights package.
Yeah,
more so.
But I think Bayern Inter was a pretty bad match.
Yeah, that's probably the worst one.
Was that the Bernabeu or something? It was bad.
Like the two Man United Barcelona ones was just Barcelona being better.
Yeah, it's Barcelona.
So there's not much you can do. Yeah. 2012 was bad as well. Bayern Chelsea.
Oh yeah, that was just a one way. Like, I've never seen a team have more chances and miss them and still lose.
And then Chelsea popped up
and the penalty miss. Oh god.
At least that had some sense of hilariousness.
Yeah.
2013 was decent enough. Wembley, Bayern against Dortmund. 2014 we talked about. 2015 was. I thought actually that 2015 was pretty good.
There was chances. Like, I thought when Barcelona scored that match was over. But
exactly.
Did come back. Morata.
Juve's.
Remember Morata?
He had a good Champions League campaign that year.
Yeah.
But like Juve coming back into the match was very exciting. Then Barcelona killed it dead in the last minute. 2016, the other Real Madrid Atletico Madrid match. That was actually better than the first one, I think, because both teams had good chances there.
There was penalty misses.
Sergio Ramos should have been sent off near the end.
Yeah, he really should have.
2017 had that amazing Mario Mandzukic goal.
Poor Mario Mandzukic.
But the second half was pretty terrible.
Yeah.
And then last year's final was just hilarious.
Casemiro scoring really far well. It was good in that Juventus match. But yeah, last season it was just
funny.
I don't know, it was a bad match as well, but I suppose it had the crazy goals and it had, obviously Karius being Karius.
It's just the Karius
Poor
like we refer to...
Speaking of Virgil van Dijk turning away thinking the keeper and then he turns back around and it's a goal.
Like we refer to Istanbul, we refer to other finals just by the venue or whatever. We should just call that one the Karius final.
Well, it is. I think that's what it'll be called. Like just mistakes after mistake.
So congratulations to Liverpool. That's their 6th European Cup. It was a memorable Champions League campaign.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Overall.
And it had been coming, but as I said, I don't know if it's going to be sullied in. Well, it won't be sullied. It's not going to be sullied in any way. But it might be different next season, given you would expect the big players, like maybe Barcelona will have a new manager, maybe they'll have a lot of new players. They're going Frankie de Jong.
Well, Real Madrid are coming in with all the new players.
We don't know what Ajax will be an unknown quantity, who they're going to hold on to and who they're going to bring through again, because they could manage another at least interesting campaign. I don't expect them to get as far next season. PSV will still be there as well, coming from the Netherlands as well, being just this exciting place at the moment in football. Bayern maybe be back. Paris Saint-Germain, I don't know what's going to happen to them. Man City, we presume they're not going to get a ban from the Champions League, but you never know. And then you have the likes, who else is there? Like the Real Madrid.
Yeah, Atletico coming back
Juventus
as well with
with
that
a new manager.
New team that they're going to have.
Yeah.
Inter Milan under Conte, although Conte has a pretty bad European record.
You always have a very
Atalanta, first time Champions League participants.
If they can get... Do they still have to do with qualifying?
No, they're straight in.
Oh, they were third.
Yeah, sure. The top 4 go straight through in Italy now.
Is it the top 4?
Yeah.
Who did they take the coefficient off?
It's just the new rule that the top 4 leagues get the top
terrible.
4. Yeah, it's a little unfair.
Yeah, so we'll have a lot of big teams in there. I mean, who knows? We might have another surprise package. The likes of Roma, the likes of Liverpool, the likes of Ajax.
Yeah, well, I feel like there's been a consistent through line of a surprise team in the semi-final, so hopefully that can stick through. But then I mentioned Real Madrid there and their new signings. Luka Jovic for 60 odd million.
Good signing.
And Eden Hazard for 88 million, rising to 150 or something along those lines. It's kind of muddy waters trying to figure out the fees.
With a year left in his contract. They must have wanted him badly. Now it does smack very much of there's somewhere between Galacticos and more traditional big club signings. Like Real Madrid had that habit under Zidane and the lateral period under Ancelotti of kind of signing mid-range players, like Spanish players, a lot of like not Otamendi, but the Iramendi, and players like that who would slot
Isco
players like that who would just slot in and be good, but not be these world-beating superstars like Bale or Ronaldo or Benzema and stuff like that. And he's kind of continued with that. Like Hazard obviously is one of those top players in the world.
But like when I think of Eden Hazard or Real Madrid, I don't think, whoa, what a huge signing. I think, that's a decent signing.
It is, because, and I said this, and people criticise me over it because not that I don't rate Hazard, but I don't think he's one of the top players in the world. I don't think he ever will be.
Because like this summer is very analogous to 2009 when they brought in Kaká and Ronaldo and Benzema.
I don't know if we're there yet.
They're spending enough because they've got Rodrigo as well and Eder Militao. That's another.
Yeah, but they're also going to sell a lot of players.
Yeah, they will sell more.
I'm expecting them to be huge.
Although they're struggling to sell the likes of Rodriguez and Bale and.
Yeah, but that's because of their age profile, and secondly, they're either the transfer fee that Real Madrid want or the wages the player wants.
The wages, particularly for Bale, has been a huge issue because he's on like $500,000 a week at least.
Yeah, which is crazy.
And Eden Hazard apparently is going to be Real Madrid's most well-paid player.
For now,
yeah.
No.
It's interesting to see, do they go and buy a player more expensive than Hazard, or is this as high as their spending goes on a player?
I don't expect them to go any higher this summer, really.
Like, is Hazard the best Galactico they can bring in this summer? He feels more like
a best is another word. Like, they don't need to sign the best Galacticos. They need to build a team again. And they've signed a good centre forward. They've signed a good wide midfield attacking player, which basically is replacing Ronaldo. they're hopefully going to offload some of the elderly players in the squad and then bring through some of the younger players that Zidane was trying to work with near the end of the season, like the fullbacks and different defenders and different, midfield shake-up as well.
They look like they're about to sign Mendy from Lille as well.
Yeah,
for 50 million.
They'd be good signings that would actually augment the team if they can get rid of. It's not dead wood, but the players that are either disenchanted,
past it players.
Yeah, but they're not past. I don't think Toni Kroos is past, even though I think he's going to stay, which is crazy.
I think Modric more so is just kind of past it.
Yeah, well, he's getting on, but like Benzema as well, Marcelo even I would consider getting rid of him just because to kind of freshen up the whole team.
Even like Ramos, the Ramos is going to stay now. They could have shipped him off to China. Yeah. I think they should have taken that.
Yeah, and the goalies maybe.
Obviously they can't sell too many players just because that sells the squad.
Yeah.
But like Ramos seems like the kind of player just politically would be the best option to get rid of him, because you want to bring in these new people, you want to start from the bottom again and kind of build up, and then you've got a leader in Ramos for sure, but maybe too much of a leader. If you get what I mean?
Has too much self-importance.
Too much of an ego.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't think they'll go bigger than. There's talk of Eriksen wanting to go there, and
it seems like it's between Eriksen and Pogba, which is an interesting kind of.
If I was Real Madrid, I'd go more for Eriksen because he would be of that Modric ilk, and obviously that would work with Zidane's style of football, and it would be a like for like replacement, and it would be the Spurs to Real movement as well. Pogba, I think, would suit better, much better going back to Juventus, I would think, because I think a player like Pogba would work well with a Ronaldo type centre forward when you have that kind of connectivity between quick connectivity between midfield, defence, which Pogba brings you, and that attacking player going on the run and the counter attack, especially if like Sarri or someone like manager like that comes into Juventus. Yeah,
it's going to be interesting just because it sounds like Eriksen is the cheaper option for Real Madrid, and that's why they're linked with him more so. And the fact that he's actively asked to leave.
Yeah, and I think he's much more of a. I think he'd fit functionally better.
I think he would as well, even though
still give you that option of bringing in a defender.
Like Zidane does love Pogba, and obviously the whole French thing going on there as well. But Juve apparently have been linked with Pogba, though they do need to sell before they can buy. Yeah. And it would be interesting to see Pogba and Ronaldo in a Sarri team, because that would be a bit odd.
Yeah, I
don't know. Ronaldo, I think, is a weird.
I think Juventus team under Sarri is going to be weird no matter what.
Yeah, that's true. Although, did you see Lorenzo Insigne's quote about?
No,
Sarri?
What did he say?
He said that he's betrayed Napoli
just by entertaining the notion of going to.
Because it sounds like it's a done deal. He signed a 3-year deal apparently, according to reports.
So it's going to be like last season all over again, and he doesn't go until August.
Yeah, basically. Sure. I don't know what Chelsea do. It's going to be an interesting.
Chelsea can't sign anybody.
Well, they can sign a manager at the very least.
Can they?
Yeah, that would be funny. If they were transfer banned from getting.
That would be a good one if you think about it. That would be an excellent one.
Well, that would just screw over Sarri, because then Chelsea would have to keep
Sarri
him.
could just quit.
True, yeah.
Like what? He'll make the same money going to Juventus. Well, maybe not make the same money, but he'd make a considerable amount of money just going to Juventus and leaving Chelsea behind, and Chelsea would then have to promote Zola.
Yeah, well, what if Zola goes to Juve?
Yeah, exactly. Then they'd have to promote. Who's the?
Just bring back Steve Holland.
Yeah, someone like that would have to come through.
The best judge in football are the supporters. They are the best judge.
This is the first time that I see in football a man hunting. I am 55. I'm mature. I'm a big boy.
Respect, man, respect.
3-0, but also mean 3 premierships, and I won more premierships alone than the other 19 managers together. 3 for me and 2 for them.
Respect, man, respect.
Heritage. This is football heritage. Heritage.
Respect, man, respect.
if tomorrow rains in London, it's my fault.
Heritage.
If there is some difficulty to have the agreement of the Brexit, it's my fault.
Respect, man, respect. Respect, man, respect.
As we head into another long summer without top-level club football, we thought it might be interesting to assess the Premier League's top 6 squads. Who should stay, who should go, and who could come in? Will we start with Man City or Arsenal?
Man City would probably be the easiest one because we look... Do you want to start with your... I'm just going to pull up Man City's squad here. I have it here somewhere.
Well,
so basically, we'll make this relatively easy. So what we're going to propose doing... I'm not going to go through player... I don't propose going through player for player. But who... In what positions should Man City buy in? What positions should they sell? And how much for both? And then we'll discuss a few actual options after that. But this is just a way of a squad makeup and what you think is actually needed and what's actually realistic.
So Manchester City are an interesting one because they've done the double now in terms of league titles. They're the first team to retain it since United 2009. So in theory their squad is just excellent and it doesn't need a lot of repair. Last year they only brought in Riyad Mahrez for 60 odd million, so they obviously felt last year they didn't need to do much, but I think that they will want to spend a little more this year, especially because the push for the Champions League I think will be the key point of their season next year.
Better,
I think defensive midfielder is the most obvious place with which they will want to sign. Just because Fernandinho is getting on.
He's getting on, and they tried to sign Jorginho last season, so it makes sense that they'll try and sign somebody else in that position this year.
I think centre back will be a key position for them because Company's gone
John
already.
Stones has barely played since January.
Yeah, it seems like they don't trust him in important matches at all. Otamendi is still there, and he can probably
I'm pretty sure Otamendi's
he's been heavily linked, but there's been no confirmation that he's gone anywhere.
He was given a few minutes, wasn't he, in the last match or in the last league match?
So I think he'll go as well, which is why they definitely need a centre back. I think they could bring in. I think they're definitely going to buy in those positions, and then
so that's two,
and then I could see them bringing in a striker, a winger, and maybe a left back.
Striker. Okay, so we have 2 definites and 3 maybes.
It all depends on who goes
and who's going. That's the next question.
So
we already have Vincent Kompany's gone. So that's one departure.
Vincent Kompany's gone.
Otamendi's very likely to go. It's almost been.
Yeah, exactly. 2. I could see them getting rid of Fabian Delph. Claudio Bravo, I think will just go because he's not even second choice anymore. I could see them trying to offload Gabriel Jesus.
Yeah,
and then bring in someone to be with Aguero.
That's 5 already.
Yeah.
Benjamin Mendy's been linked to
and then
got rid of.
I don't think they'll get rid of both Mendy and Sane. I think they can stick with one of them
as well. You have to talk.
I think they'll keep Danilo.
Well, Ilkay Gundogan's out of contract.
He's out of contract next summer. I think.
Yeah, so it's. I think City will sell him.
I think Sam Lee said that Gundogan has been more open to talks lately, so I could see them just off because they don't need the money from a sale from Gundogan. That I think they could just keep him for the summer.
So we have 5 definites going out of the squad.
In Company, Otamendi,
Claudio Bravo, Fabian Delph.
Who's the 5th? I don't think there's necessarily a 5th definite. I think they could just sell one of the younger players.
Leroy Sané.
I don't think he's.
I think he is. I think.
Well, if they get the cash,
they don't get on with Pep, so neither Sané or Mendy get on with Pep. So if they have the ability to get rid of these players, and it's not that these players are tainted in any way. It's not like no one would take them off them, and it's not like City are going to drive a huge fee. They're not going to go. Oh no, we're not going to do Daniel Levy about it and go from. We'll give you 80 million for Eriksen. And like, no, I want 100 million. They're not going to do that.
I think they will with Leroy Sané just because
they'll want value for him. They're not going to say no.
Well, they've already apparently turned down a £70 million bid for him from Bayern Munich, which is a lot of money.
Yeah, but I think Bayern can go a bit higher, and I think they know that.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think they'll stick to Leroy Sané.
Yeah,
just because I think even
No, he's a
for
good
the
player.
depth-
Like, it doesn't
for the
really make
depth
sense.
alone.
So, any other players that they're going to sign?
I think those positions are who they bring in. Who they actually like, I don't know who they bring in. They've been linked with Rodri.
Yeah,
but he could easily just stay committed to Atletico Madrid because he seems like that kind of character. And then after that, I don't know who.
Ben Chilwell was apparently the deal was done, and they
At left
City,
back, yeah.
and City pulled out of it because they decided to focus on centre half instead of left back.
And I've seen them linked with Harry Maguire as well.
Yeah,
which
which will be an
one.
interesting signing, especially if they hold on to John Stones. You could have an England back three with Walker as well.
Yeah, and then if they keep Delph for whatever reason,
Yeah.
nice. If only they kept Joe Hart.
If only.
Could have played a nice back five.
They
there.
still have Joe Hart, don't they?
No, he's at Burnley now.
He's definitely gone.
I'm pretty sure
they sold him to Burnley. He's not on loan at
I
Burnley.
think so. I think they got him for like 2 million.
Yeah.
Burnley have like 4 top level keepers for some reason.
They do. It's bizarre.
If not 5. At left back, Ben Chilwell, yeah, seems like the best option. Striker, I don't know. They could go for anyone. A striker, they could easily pluck someone out like they did Jesus.
Yeah, but I think they want to go for something. I know that the age profile of the squad is quite old because you can't imagine David Silva's going to continue playing as many games.
I would say this is his last season in City almost.
Well, yeah, quite possibly. And then you're looking like maybe, like I would think that Riyad Mahrez might go, and then you'd have to sign another midfielder, to kind of.
I think
balance.
that's just getting rid of too many.
Yeah, it probably is that they can't do it. But then City do have the ability because they are, unlike other sides, they could probably afford to do a huge squad shake-up and cope with it.
It's just, I think, like Guardiola, you've said it before, like doesn't really like playing the market that much.
No, he hasn't.
I think they'll just
Mangala is still there.
Is he?
Yeah, so he's definitely another centre half gone.
I just assumed he was gone.
No, he's still there.
Do you want to move on to Liverpool then?
Yeah, Liverpool I think is easier than Man City.
Yeah, I think they very obvious outs that need to be gotten rid of.
Like
They've already gotten rid of Serge and Moreno, for instance, who very obviously just needed to go.
Yeah. They got Champions League medals out of it.
Yeah, fair play to them.
Even Keller's still there though.
Yeah, he could go on loan, I'd say.
Like let's look. So those two are gone. So what positions do they need to sign in? We'll start with that one maybe.
I think maybe another midfielder.
In what kind of midfield? Like, remember, Oxlade-Chamberlain is back next season. So
Yeah, well, I just think
as a kind of runner, a water carrier, for lack of a better phrase, Oxlade-Chamberlain is fantastic.
I just think maybe because James Milner won't be able to play as many minutes this season.
Jordan Henderson is a newly discovered player, though.
True, but then they're kind of left with just Fabinho.
Yeah, so they need someone else in that kind of defensive area. Adam Lallana can't do it.
I think they might bring in someone as depth for Firmino because he's been
With
him being out has hampered the side lately.
With Sturridge gone and Shaqiri obviously not getting on the best of terms.
Yeah,
so
I can even see Origi not really getting in the side.
Yeah, I can see Origi being sold. Ben Woodburn's still there, the young Welshman.
Oh yeah, and they've got Harry Wilson as well, but
Yeah.
apparently he's looking for a Premier League club, mid-table Premier League club to get minutes at next season, so can't really rely on him either. I could see them bringing in another centre back because if they get rid of Dejan Lovren,
yeah, and but I think they need a fullback very badly. I think they need a cover at the very least for Andy Robertson at left back because Robertson played almost every match, didn't he?
Yeah, like
Moreno didn't get many minutes.
James
this season.
Milner could do it, but that's a bit of a
but
patchwork.
You need like even a younger player. The way you have Joe Gomez and Trent Alexander-Arnold available at right back, they need that kind of backup at left back so someone else can come in. I think a left back come centre half would be ideal for them.
Yeah, they're not easy to come by though.
No, they're not, but maybe they'll promote from the inside or they will go elsewhere and sign like Ben Chilwell or someone like that.
I could see them signing another goalkeeper then just because I think it could be time
Kelleher?
for Mignolet.
Yeah,
and
Mignolet will
Karius.
go, but maybe Kelleher might get number 2.
Oh, he's like what, 17 years old?
No, he's not that young.
Is he not like really young?
How old is he? No, he's 20.
Oh, okay, I don't think he's going to be getting minutes this season. Even though, what did Klopp say about him? He was the most famous Irishman in the world or something?
He basically is. Shane Ross, apart from Shane Ross.
That's fuck. So, yeah, I don't think it's going to be too complicated with Liverpool this summer. I don't think they'll be spending more than 50-60 million.
Yeah, but I do think if I go through the squad now, I think for definite Simon Mignolet is gone. Karius is gone.
Yeah, I think there's 5-6 players gone.
Like, I don't know if they'll get rid of Dejan Lovren this summer unless they can get a good fee for him. I think Adam Lallana could go if they could get an offer for him.
I think they'll keep.
They'd let him
Lallana.
go. I think they'd let Lallana go if they got a good.
If
offer.
they got it, I just don't know who would come in. Other than
and then you have
Scott.
I think Shaqiri could easily go.
No, I don't think Shaqiri will go.
Serge
I think he
said
gives
he's
them
already
that second
gone.
option.
Divock Origi, I think you do need to upgrade there somewhere. Like maybe not. You're not looking at like the top grade, like Real Madrid have signed your man from Frankfurt. I can never pronounce it because he keeps saying Jovic, but what's his name? Jovic. Like you're not going that high, but you are wanting somewhere mid-level. So whether that's another Premier League-esque player.
They've been linked to Timo Werner a lot, but I think that's maybe
that would be a decent signing. No, I think that would be because the German market. But you look back in England and like who could you look back in Germany rather from England and you're like who else is there in the Bundesliga? You have Jadon Sancho, who was probably outside of Liverpool's price range at the moment.
Yeah, I don't think he'll go this summer.
Yeah, and then because I think Liverpool would be a much better fit for Sancho than any other English club that are currently interested in him. Other than that, you're like, ooh, who would Liverpool go to try and get a player? Is there anyone in the Premier League at that kind of next level down that would interest Liverpool as even a backup? Andy Carroll's been released by West Ham. He's available.
Solomon Rondon, I was thinking maybe just as a battering ram.
They have Origi like for that, and they like maybe this is a chance for your man Brewster to get a bit of a chance in the.
Yeah, I think he is planned to play more next season, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah, but there's not a huge amount with Liverpool. Liverpool's probably the most boring of them that they're.
Yeah, and then Chelsea obviously can't do anything, so we're just
going
to skip Chelsea.
Poor Chelsea. Well, they're going to lose players.
Yeah, well they've already lost last night. I don't know if they'll lose anyone else.
They've lost.
I say lose in the sense that they would actually be a dramatic loss to the side, as opposed to.
I'm trying to think anyone else there there was definitely someone else that was like Jorginho. I think could go because he's so hated, and maybe the next manager won't use him as much. Maybe it would just be a way to create further team. If that is Frank Lampard, I don't know if he's going to use Jorginho that much. I don't know what You're probably right. Like Chelsea do need to sign a lot of players, but they're not allowed.
Yeah, so it is funny.
It is. Yeah, they're going to be in a worrying state next season, getting into the top 6 just because they don't have that depth.
Yeah,
to last the whole season they have to do Europa League as well.
It feels like
they're in the Champions League.
They're in the Champions League, which might actually be worse for them in the.
Well, yeah, in terms
of the season.
Yeah, in terms of it's going to take
attritionally.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. So, and then they might end up in the Europa League anyway.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty interesting season for Chelsea.
Yeah, that would be interesting to watch how can in a modern football how can a team cope? I think
with everything going wrong.
Tottenham next, will we?
Yeah, Tottenham next, because we spoke a little bit about Tottenham, but there's been apparently debates around Tottenham between Pochettino and Levy, I have to assume, of how they go about their business this summer. Because it seems like the debate is between do they sign 2 or 3 big money signings to really improve the squad and go for it again next season, or do they bring in 6-7 cheaper options and just build depth?
Personally, I think for the sanity of the club, I think they need to do that latter option of bringing in the 6 or 7 different players. I'm looking at their squad here, and Hugo Lloris, he's the captain of the team. He's going to stay, you'd imagine, but building some kind of legacy plan for him is probably a good idea. Maybe that won't happen this summer because Michel Vorm is still there and he's not even getting into squads.
He's not even the second choice goalkeeper anymore. It's Gazzaniga.
Yeah, Gazzaniga's there, and then they have a young fella behind him. Kieran Trippier has been linked with Napoli, which is crazy,
and Atletico Madrid,
which both are crazy. But he has good delivery. I suppose he scored that goal in the semi-final of the World Cup, and he does get up and down the wings, which is important in the modern game. Danny Rose is somehow still at Spurs.
Well, it seems like everything has been cleared up there between Pochettino and Rose because they did fall out.
I'm looking at the 4, if not starting, there are 4 very likely to start Tottenham defenders: Kieran Trippier, Danny Rose, Toby Alderweireld, and Jan Vertonghen. And I'm not seeing any of those being guaranteed to be at Tottenham next season.
Oh, I'd say Jan Vertonghen is guaranteed.
He's the most likely of those 4.
I don't see where he goes or who signs him.
Anywhere. Back to Ajax. That was one. I heard that earlier.
He's still so critical to Tottenham that I don't see why they would let him go off to Ajax.
So we'll say Vertonghen. So there's 3 then. Toby Alderweireld. He's got such a low. It's 25 million release.
25 million. Yeah.
In the modern game, that's nothing.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Man United just went up.
Man United or anybody, whoever it's a bidding war, and I think Danny Levy is open to that. Danny Rose has always been for sale, I think, for the last few years. So a decent enough offer.
I think everything's been sorted with Danny. I think Danny Rose is there to stay.
He has had a good season and everything. He kind of reasserted his.
I think him and Pochettino's relationship has kind of been built up.
Kieran Trippier then is definitely.
I'd say get rid of him.
So Toby Alderweireld and Trippier are gone. That's 2.
The only thing with Trippier is what do you do then with Serge Aurier? Because I don't think you can get rid of both.
No, but you either have to make up with him or you sell him again. But then where does Serge Aurier even go? Who could sign him? Who can afford his wages? Who could afford the transfer fee that Spurs will want from? Not many, so I don't think he goes. I think you lose those 2 defenders. you lose one of the goalkeepers, like Michel Vorm or someone like that,
Yeah.
who probably end up being on the scraps. That's 3 players gone already from their defence. I think their midfield, Eric Lamela is up for sale. Definitely. Barely played this season. I know he's been in and out with injuries, but like not trusted in important matches, and when he's come on he hasn't really shown much. So that's 4. Christian Eriksen is 5. We expect him to leave before the end of the season, and then they'll probably hold on.
The thing with Eriksen is they will get a huge fee from him, which will allow them to spend.
Yeah, but they should have, as I said, like they made 400 odd million in just
but they spent $1 billion on a new stadium.
Yeah, but then debt, like most likely you'd expect they didn't spend that in cash.
Yeah, but like remember what Arsenal were like for years.
Yeah.
Like I think this is Tottenham's time to go through that similar period.
Yeah.
Even though the TV money
they've made since is grown enormously in the 15 or so years.
Llorente's gone. He's that's pretty much confirmed.
Yeah, so that's 5 players out.
Vincent Janssen will go if someone will take him.
6 players from Spurs. So how many players do they bring in? They have to bring in. Do you expect one Foyt and the other Kyle Walker to come, Walker Peters, to just come in and take those fullback positions?
No, but
or challenge for them at least.
I think
to come Davies and Sanchez as well for Alderweireld.
I disagree when you say they should kind of go with the cheaper options and try to get the 6 or 7.
That's what I'm saying. Is if I'm agreeing with you now, if they do promote from within, and who are the big players they sign, then they need, like, you clearly need a striker. You clearly need someone to replace Christian Eriksen.
Midfielder, yeah, replace Eriksen, and that looks like the one with they're going with first, because they've been heavily linked with Giovanni Lo Celso at PSG,
which is, I don't think necessarily like that guy's going to need a lot of how would you say it, time to adapt.
He has been fantastic for Betis in La Liga, having moved from Liga.
Yeah, but like neither of those leagues are very. He's a small guy.
I don't know. Like Santi Cazorla came in and was good. Like Juan Mata came in and was phenomenal. So I don't.
And
think
Eriksen isn't that big. Yeah, it could work. I just feel that he's young. He's raw. It might be
with someone like Sissoko there, like who can just batter his way through players. Like I think that offers good protection for Lo Celso.
I think they need another player in that Sissoko role as well.
Because they have to replace
probably
Dembele.
Going as well. That's a player we didn't mention, but
I can
7.
see. Like I don't think they'd sell him unless they got a really good fee for him or something.
I think they'd sell him anyway.
He's
fallen out of that team.
I don't think he has. I think he's just been injured.
Yeah, and like I don't think they'll sell Eric Dyer, but like Wanyama, Dyer, you know, they're not there anymore. They're not at that position they were maybe 2 or 3 seasons ago.
Well, I don't know. Like they have Sissoko there to be the main man, which is not a sentence I thought I'd be saying.
He's a phenomenal player.
Sincerely,
man of the match in the Euro final, you know.
Yeah, so
2016.
So I think go big on a centre midfielder, especially if Eriksen
I think that's a big enough signing if they manage him, and then up front I think they definitely need somebody.
I don't think they need a huge signing there either, though.
But they need someone better than Fernando Llorente and Vincent Janssen. You saw in the Champions League final.
Solomon Rondon, I'm going to ship him out to all these teams.
Yeah, like if they were going for like, he would be an upgrade on Llorente at this stage in his career. If they were going that way, and then the other massive thing about Spurs, apart from they're going to probably sell to buy, which is crazy. So you expect them to spend 100 million if they get rid of Eriksen and a few more. Of those
if they get rid of Eriksen, I'd expect them to spend near 150.
Really, that much?
If they get rid of Eriksen,
I think they'll get rid of Eriksen for 80 odd million. They'll get rid of Alderweireld for the 25.
I think
maybe 30.
I think they can get more for Eriksen
if they can if they can get a bidding war started on Alderweireld before
Well, he's got a release clause, so
I know, but then. Another team gazumps the release clause. Can you do a bit more?
Well, I don't see the point.
They only have to pay that.
They only have to pay the 25. Okay. So
so I
it's
think
a matter of wages then is the big.
And then I think that would make them the 100. And then if they can get bits of money for the likes of Janssen and
I think they'll have. I think they came into the summer with the idea. Okay, we have X amount to spend, 40-50 million to spend, and whatever we get from sales.
Yeah.
So I think they will overspend.
But they might get the Celso, or how do you say his name?
Lo Celso.
Lo Celso for 50 million. I think that's achievable in this market, even though that's crazy money.
They've been linked with Ryan Sessegnon as well.
Yeah, they've always been linked to Ryan Sessegnon. He will end up someday at Spurs, but I hope it's not until he's 35.
What was the other player? They were linked with some other young English player. Jack Grealish, who I don't think will go.
No, I think since he's captain Villa and they've gone into the Premier League, I think he'll stay for at least one season.
I think
and then maybe go to Spurs next season or someone else. If he continues his progress.
Yeah, he could end up jumping Spurs.
Yeah.
Or to Liverpool or Man City or something.
Going the other way entirely is still a possibility, I think, for that guy.
Yeah, maybe, we'll see.
You wouldn't link them with anyone the likes of Declan Rice or anyone to come into that Sissoko point?
No, I don't think they'll really want to go.
We never mentioned him with Man City either. Do you think he would go? Man City would be interested in the likes of Declan Rice for that Fernandinho position?
I think Declan Rice needs another season.
Okay. Man United could still go for him.
Yeah, Man United could still, just because they're Man United.
Yeah, so a striker of some ilk that's not too expensive, maybe Solomon Rondon.
I could see them going for a right back then as well. They could go for Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah, again, I think that might be out of their price range considering if they're keeping things relatively tight.
Yeah, they're definitely the most interesting just because of their budget constraints that they're giving on themselves.
Yeah.
And the fact that they clearly do need to replace and freshen up the squad, especially because they didn't even sign anyone last summer or last season.
Last season, like they haven't signed anyone well over a year, and they that's why it's like they need something. Looking at their squad, they need refreshment in a lot of areas.
Yeah. And then we'll go to the Europa League teams. Arsenal, probably the lowest budget, definitely the lowest budget.
Yeah, David Ornstein, the guy who gives all the information from Arsenal, has said that their limit for budget was £40 million before sales.
Before sales, yeah.
But again, you look at the side and who's going to buy any Arsenal players?
Like they released 7 players this week.
Like Aaron Ramsey's gone, free transfer to Juventus.
Danny Welbeck's gone.
There's other players. Petr Cech is obviously gone. Who else did they release? They released that guy that Wenger signed.
Is Callum Chambers gone?
Is Callum Chambers? No, Callum Chambers coming back. They expect him to start.
What's the other? Carl Jenkinson.
Did Carl Jenkinson get released at long last? I just hope they never release Carl Jenkinson. Just keep him on as a player till he's like 60.
I kind of feel the same way with a few players at a few other clubs. I feel like they've all got like 1 or 2 they should just keep forever. But then I feel like at Arsenal, like their outgoings, like as you said, I need to sell to buy. Like so, Ramsey's a pretty crucial loss, and Welbeck, because I think you said before, like that's
Carl
70
Jenkinson
million
was not released. Jeez. Aaron Ramsey, Petr Cech, Danny Welbeck, Stefan Lichtsteiner, Charlie Gilmore, Julio played something or another, and Cohen Bramwell.
They don't matter.
So Carl Jenkinson remains at Arsenal.
So as you have said before, 70 million is down the drain there between Ramsey and Welbeck, roughly.
Yeah.
So that leaves, like, who can they sell? Like, Mustafi needs to go. Like, that's just, he cannot play for Arsenal anymore, or otherwise Arsenal fans might actually kill him.
Yeah.
They might hire out a hitman. They could get something for him. I don't think they'll make back what they bought off him, 35 million, but they could get half that.
Yeah, maybe Italy. They tried to sell him to West Brom 2 years ago, if everyone forgets, and the deal fell through for some reason. Like, he wanted to leave Arsenal 2 years ago and go back to Italy, and they couldn't get clubs were interested and they wouldn't agree to the fee.
Yeah, like Milan, maybe.
Milan, Inter. I think he would do fine, and he did okay in Spain. He was.
I don't think Inter need him just because they've got pretty good depth there. Because they got Godin in.
Go back to Spain. Valencia did well there. I don't know. So we're looking.
And then outside of Mustafi, who obviously just needs to go.
Koscielny has been linked to go. Apparently, Arsenal are going to give him
for
his years of service and what he's done for the club, and come back from career-ending injury at least once to hold together the Arsenal defence. They were like, he's got a year left in his contract. He's 34. If he wants to get one more, Arsenal won't offer more than a year deal apparently.
Yeah, that's just kind of standard practice.
And so they won't offer him until next year either. So they mightn't even offer him if he's had So if he wants to go get a 2-year deal, he's been like, maybe it's going to be allowed to happen. So that's 2 centre halves gone, very likely.
And then I think the only other player they can afford to sell really is one of Lacazette or Aubameyang.
Ozil?
Where does Ozil go? Who buys Ozil?
They just release him.
I just don't think that's going to happen.
They clear whatever 20 million off their wage bill. They release him.
Yeah, but they can't just release him. They'd have to pay him.
They can release him.
No, you'd have to pay off his contract. That would be.
You'd have to come to some kind of.
Yeah, you'd have to come to an agreement.
Maybe pay him off.
You can't just release a player because you have the contract there. That would annul it.
Yeah, that actually does make sense. I'm stupid.
So I don't see anyone coming in.
El Nenny's going as well. Don't forget El Nenny.
I did forget he existed.
Yeah, Mohamed El Nenny. They'll get 3 or 4 million.
Yeah,
that's money.
you toss that aside, like that's
Henry Mkhitaryan could easy. I think Arsenal would if they had offers for. I'm looking at their outfield attacking players. Like El Nenny's obviously gone. Mkhitaryan, if they get an offer from Mkhitaryan, he's gone. Mesut Ozil, if someone takes Mesut Ozil off their hands, he's gone. Lucas Torreira is a weird one because I think Lucas Torreira could be signed by, like, no offense to Arsenal, but a bigger club like the likes of Barcelona, Real Madrid, or because he's young, he's in that younger age profile. He is South American. he has that run around nature to him. Like, I think he would fit fine. Like, he would probably be a decent enough player at Man City behind Fernandinho.
I just think that Arsenal are the team in the top six that can't afford to sell. They can't afford to sell. Like, they need players in the squad.
Yeah, like, granted, Xhaka, he made a mistake against Portugal.
I just don't see how they sell him and then have money to buy a replacement. Even though he's not been crucial to the side, he's made big mistakes.
Promote from within. Like, apparently that's what's happening with Aaron Ramsey. They're going to promote Joe Willock into the first team squad to take the Ramsey role. But yeah, Lacazette and Aubameyang have both been linked to Barcelona as a kind of short-term replacement for Luis Suarez, or at least to add to the goals of the centre forward. Like, in place of maybe a Griezmann signing, they will do that, and they can kind of build the team a bit more functionally.
I think if they could get Lacazette or if they could sell Lacazette for 60 million, that would be.
They bought him for that, didn't they?
No, they bought Aubameyang for 60.
Yeah, I think
if they could get 60 for Lacazette, I think they'd be doing
well,
and they should take that.
Lacazette's only 27.
I still think
so. I think if you're in a world where,
but I don't think there's any team that's going to come
Barcelona.
But just let me finish. I don't think there's any team that's going to come in and go, we absolutely have to have Lacazette. I think a team's going to come in here. We know you've got money issues. We'll give you 60 million for him. Take it or leave it. Yeah. If you don't like that, okay, we'll go off somewhere else. Yeah. So I think 60 million is the most they can really get out of that. And I think if they do get 60 million off any random team, Barcelona or whatever, they should take it. Yeah. Because then that could really help them. They still have Aubameyang. He's still a world-class striker. I think he was the top scorer in the league last season.
Yeah, joint top scorer. Salah and Sané.
So Mane. So
when he leaves, it'll be much easier.
Yeah, one of them needs to go anyway, just for our sake. Yeah. So I think. I think Lacazette's a better player than Aubameyang, but I think you just keep Aubameyang because you get less money for Aubameyang, harder to sell. Yeah. Just look at how difficult it was for Dortmund to get rid of him in the long run. So,
was that not a better reason to get rid of Aubameyang if Barcelona would take him?
But I think you'd get more for Lacazette. I think the more is more important, especially because Aubameyang scores more goals than Lacazette. And he's such a much more obvious fit into a team. Like Lacazette, I think plays well off others. I love his link-up play with some of the players at Arsenal. Yeah. Particularly Welbeck, oddly enough, which
he's
obviously
now gone.
He's gone. Yeah.
West Ham back in.
I think giving
Man United.
That would West Ham or Newcastle.
Yeah. Newcastle
or Crystal Palace actually.
Yeah,
Crystal Palace could work
out. That was sad. Replace Zaha with. Do you see Arsenal signing anybody?
That's the thing. I don't see them signing anyone.
Yeah, that's major. The thing. We just said that they've released 7 players and they're looking to get rid of at least 5 more. Like we're talking like Mustafi and Koscielny, and then like El Neni, Mkhitaryan. Ozil.
I think they keep Mkhitaryan.
I think that if they got an offer, they get rid of him. But yeah, you're probably right that they're going to have to keep him.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think they will get an offer for Mkhitaryan or Ozil.
I think the goal for the season is for the summer transfer window is almost to re-establish a kind of a wage structure at the club, because
it's been blown out of the water.
Yeah, Ozil's on twice as much as the next best player, who's Aubameyang. No, Aubameyang. I think.
What's Aubameyang on?
Or not twice as much. I think he's on 250 a week. Jeez. And then Mkhitaryan's on 200 a week.
Yeah.
And then it staggers right down to more of
a regular for a Premier
League top side, where players are on 100 grand or less. But they've already got rid of some of that with Ramsey. They're clearing their wage budget, if nothing else, and they are a club that generates significant internal revenue, because they are also a club that doesn't get any outside investment whatsoever. So they have to spend what they make and nothing more. So they're kind of stabilising that this summer. I think it's going to be an interesting season, because I would hope that they would promote from within the way that other clubs may be doing as well, like Chelsea might have to do, and you'll see a lot more young players, a lot more exciting players, and a lot more just different things to happen, rather than relying on the old reliable old players who just don't try away from home and things like that happen at Arsenal. That you might see something new.
The thing between Arsenal, Man United and Chelsea, I think it's a phenomenal chance for someone to break into the top 4 next season.
It's a good chance.
Because I look at Chelsea, obviously they're just such a mess. They can't sign anyone, they've no manager, they've lost their best player. So hard to see them get top 4.
Yeah.
Then Arsenal, no money, their player, they're already
they
struggling.
They haven't even Hazard to lose.
Yeah, so I struggle to see that. And then Man United, I don't trust them to buy the right players they need to, and sell the players they need to be able to get back in. They might get it by default if they just, the sheer will of power of money can get them there. But
so to close off in Arsenal, they're going to have to sign a defender. Probably they could do with a new right back, a new left back, and then because they don't like Cyclas Natural is also one of those players that's for sale. If they can get an offer for him, if they don't, they'll keep him. But Natural Monreal is 32, 33 now, and he's been playing. I think he played 3 different positions and was injured for a lot of the season.
Yeah, I think a right back is more crucial than a left back.
Yeah, because Bellerin won't be back to them all October at the best.
Yeah, and like Ainsley Maitland-Niles has done all right,
but he's not a right back.
Yeah.
He's played right wing back mostly. And they were talking about pulling him into central midfield more so to play defensive midfielder, maybe in place of Xhaka or maybe in place of Guendouzi or someone like that. But a defender also to either give a bit more cover to Mustafi's, whatever is left behind after Mustafi, and if Koscielny goes as well, they definitely need a defender. But then what about the rest of the team? Like in midfield, they're just going to have to promote from within probably. So probably 2 or 3 signings is what you're looking at for Arsenal.
Yeah,
and
like
14 outgoings.
They could do maybe a wide player as well, just because I don't have much confidence in a Iwobi.
No, yeah, but again, I think they're going to be promoting from within. The likes of that 17-year-old, the other Saka.
It'll be interesting to see a team that actually does that, a top level team.
Well, I think Chelsea are going to do it as well. At long last, those 45 unknown Chelsea players might get a chance.
It depends on who comes in as manager.
Eduardo might get a start.
Then Manchester United will close it out.
Last, so 6th place last season. They have a team that with a manager who doesn't have to sign any players.
Well, they are the only team in the top 6 who have signed a player this season.
They signed the young fella from Swansea,
Daniel James, for 15 million, rising to 18 million or something like that.
It's a pretty good piece of business for Manchester
United.
Yeah, because considering the market,
and considering the fact that if it all goes wrong for him, they could easily recoup that money.
Yeah. So who's leaving though? We think De Gea is going to stay this summer. There's no real talks, and nobody's really made Real Madrid have 2 keepers that they don't know what to do with at the moment, so I don't think they're going to sign him.
PSG are more likely to go in for him, I think.
But I think PSG also have a bit of a conveyor belt there. They could sign a few players. But
there's a lot of variables.
Does Lee Grant stay?
Lee Grant has to stay. I think he's like Carl Jenkinson. He has to always be there.
Sergio Romero will stay.
Yeah,
so
Romero will stay.
We'll just move past the goalies. We'll say the goalies will stay. Defense, is there anyone? Are they going to lose anyone in defense?
I think Marcus Rojo.
We'll start with who are they? We'll start with who are they going to get rid of.
I think
so. That's
Marcus
one.
Rojo's
gone.
I think they keep everyone else. Then.
Well, they've given them all contracts.
Yeah. Well, Eric Bailly is the most likely to leave. What
about Ashley Young?
Ashley Young was actually linked with DC United.
That'd be a good move for
Ashley
Young
and Man United for 6 million, I think, which wouldn't be bad money.
So that's
for him.
2 players say would go in midfield. Then you're looking at will Fred stay?
I think Fred will stay. I think they'll keep him for another year.
Herrera's gone. That's 3.
I think Herrera is the only midfielder to go, unless
Matic. Would you keep Matic?
I think Matic will,
even though he's becoming a liability, like the way he did at Chelsea.
I just think they keep him.
But there's so much dead wood at United.
But you can't overhaul a squad by getting rid of everyone and bringing in a whole new team.
No,
which is what they need to do. Yeah, you can't do that.
But get rid of everyone with promote from within, because United, as we saw near the end of
the
season, had a lot of good players.
I don't think Matic will play as often as he did this season.
Okay,
but I think they'll keep him.
Pereira
apparently has been offered a new contract.
Okay, so that's another to add to the pile. Juan Mata?
He's a deal on the table as a matter of whether he wants it or not, because he's out of contract.
If I was Mata, I would leave.
Yeah, probably go back to Spain.
Yeah, or go anywhere that's not England and not Manchester United. Like another English team. Like speaking of, Arsenal would take Juan Mata in an instant, and he was meant to go there years ago. Or Chelsea, can't they get free agents?
No, they can't. They can't register. Yeah.
Okay. What about these young lads like Scott McTominay, who isn't that young anymore? Chong, Gomez, all these young.
Well, Gomez is only still like 17 or something.
So is like Chong.
So yeah, I don't think you can really talk about them in the squad. They might get loaned out, but I don't think that's.
And then what about the up front? Then you kind of have the next to add to the 3. You kind of have either Sanchez, Lukaku, or Martial. I don't think Rashford's going anywhere this summer.
No, I'd be very surprised if Rashford left the club at all.
I think any of those Martial.
I don't think Lingard goes either.
No, I didn't even count Lingard, but Lukaku, he's not part of this.
I think it's one of Lukaku or Sanchez. I don't think they sell both. No, I think Martial.
Because they could get good money for Martial.
They probably could, but I think they're going to give him one more year.
Okay, so one of Sanchez and Lukaku, or
I don't think they sell both.
Who would sign Sanchez?
He's been linked with a few clubs here and there, with nothing substantial.
Yeah, like other than Paris Saint-Germain getting them off there.
Atletico Madrid.
Maybe because we didn't even talk about Neymar is done his ankle ligaments apart from being involved.
No, he's only out for 4 weeks apparently.
Oh,
so
we'll see.
I think they stick with Neymar. They have Mbappe anyway.
Yeah, but Mbappe submit a transfer request. Or is that just paper talk?
I think that's just paper talk, and I think it's going to be very difficult for anyone to leave PSG, to be honest.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Once you're there...
Because maybe that's why Barcelona's interest in Griezmann has dried up, because if you could get Mbappe, why would you get rid of him? You know, if you could spend 200 million on Mbappe or sign Lacazette and Griezmann,
yeah, you go with Mbappe, yeah.
100%, and get rid of Coutinho to pay for it.
So,
that leaves one other player who we've just actually skipped over for going, and that's Paul Pogba.
Yeah, I think Paul Pogba depends on who comes in for him and if they pay up.
He wants to leave, apparently. Mino Raiola is...
I think Man United are going to play hardball on Pogba. Like, I think it's going to be a case of, okay, you want to go, but if no one's coming in with X amount of money,
yeah,
then
but does that not affect the whole mentality of the club, the dressing room, like if they start next season with an unhappy Pogba, who also has a lot of influence and a lot of minions, for lack of a better phrase, in the team. He has Rashford, Lingard, Lukaku to a smaller extent. You know, these are all the players that
they do get on.
Follow
on.
On.
I don't know. I think Man United are going to be quite stubborn on getting rid of Paul Pogba.
Okay, so we're saying at least 4 players gone, maybe 6.
Yeah.
And then what positions come in? Obviously, I think, personally, I think they need to sign a whole new defence, even though they're keeping all these substandard English players, the likes of Chris Smalling and Phil Jones and maybe Ashley Young. Antonio Valencia
he's gone.
Yeah, so we didn't even count him, so he's definitely...
He was released, along with Herrera.
So yeah, they need all to be replaced. I think they still need a defensive midfielder.
Yeah, they need at least 2 midfielders, I would say.
I'd say 2 defenders and 2 midfielders.
And then I think Daniel James at right. I don't expect him to play all season, but like they have Lingard, it depends.
I really don't expect him to play. If he's playing a lot of football next season, they're in trouble.
Yeah, I think they only sign another attacking player if Lukaku or Sanchez goes.
Yeah, I think that's needed, and it might be at Jadon Sancho linked, but I think that is the kind of player that would work well with them. But maybe they won't get him this summer.
I think they've given up on that for this summer. I think they're focusing. But
someone
on
like
targets.
that, if they could get someone who is a bit look down the Premier League table, who did well last year. Like, we didn't even mention Ryan Fraser. Apparently, is going to go to Arsenal, but he got 14 assists last year from the wing.
Yeah, I'd like to see him at a top club.
Who else is like that Ryan Fraser who could make that jump up to the top teams that maybe Man United take a punt on? Jermaine Defoe's not available.
There is the Wilfried Zaha question.
Yeah,
I don't think he's going back.
I don't think he's going back to United. He would be suitable for that type of role.
It would be interesting just to see if anyone would sum up the money for him.
Chelsea were the most likely candidates, but now that's gone by the wayside. Maybe you'd look at if they could get rid of Lamela and Eriksson and
apparently Tottenham have been kind of put off by the asking price because they're looking for 100 million for him, which is a lot.
Well, that's the money that's
it is, but Tottenham are not willing to spend that money.
I suppose.
So it'll be interesting. Man United reports for today, as of recording, that they had a 40 million bid rejected for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Yeah. So I think they'll pursue that because they do need a right back.
Chilwell has also been linked because Man City went away.
Yeah.
And I don't think Arsenal, who could use a Chilwell, would sign a Chilwell.
He's too expensive, I think, for Arsenal.
And Chelsea obviously aren't in the market anymore. If Man City aren't there, then it has to be Man United.
I just think left back is the last position Man United should be looking to replace because Luke Shaw's fine.
Yeah, but they've been linked.
Yeah, we'll see. So I think Man United are kind of... It's the most obvious.
How much money then are each of these clubs going to spend? Because I know you said earlier that you expect Spurs to spend 60 to 80 million.
Yeah, more than they sell.
Yeah.
So it'll be
what about the rest of them? I expect Man United to spend the most of these clubs.
Yeah,
I expect Liverpool to spend, because of the way the market is, they're only going to sign 1 or 2 players, and maybe they'll spend 40 million.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Arsenal will spend the 40 million.
Yeah,
because they need to.
40 million rising to 60 or 70 if they sell.
Depending on who they sell. If they have to replace one, then that would be...
Whereas Man United could easily spend 250 million.
Yeah, if they sell Pogba for 100...
Yeah,
easily.
At least, yeah, they could
easily spend well over that. But I don't know if that would make them any better, because United have so much structural problems.
Yeah,
that they're that whole defense. And the midfield, I've said this many times. Ferguson never focused too much on a strong central midfield. He always kind of bypassed it to force to play out the wings. His fullbacks, his wingers, and his attacking players held all the cards, and it was at the detriment of all the central midfielders, and that has never been reconciled in Manchester United. Bringing in Fellaini, bringing in Herrera, bringing in name some other central midfielders, bring in Pereira or Fred. They've never done it, and so I think that is a core thing that until United can fix, they're never really going to compete at the top end. Where the likes of, while functional, this Liverpool side of Henderson, Milner, Fabinho, Keita, Wijnaldum and Oxlade-Chamberlain, like they're all can play any role in midfield, every single one of those players. What Man United can't, the players they have, Matic can't play as an attacking midfielder. Herrera previously couldn't play like as a winger or as a number 6 really, even though that was his given position. None of the players that are left now could do any of those roles either, so they need to fix that. Like Paul Pogba is a box-to-box player in a team that doesn't enable box-to-box midfield play. If he was playing for Liverpool, he would have functioned much better.
Even Man City, I think he would have worked out.
Yeah,
better.
it would have been a bit closer to his way of United, but he's not that. I think he's more of what Liverpool are trying to do than any of the other top teams.
So I don't think any of the big clubs besides Man United will spend more than 150 million. I think it'll be between 50 and 100 for most.
I think Man City will spend 60 to 80 million.
Yeah, on 1 or 2 players,
and it'll depend who goes out as well.
Yeah,
I think defenders they could if they do because it is a Man City premium that's being charged. Like look at Mangala for instance. I think that was the first instance of a real premium being charged to Man City, where a player that would have cost 15 million for the likes of Spurs or Arsenal to sign cost them 40 million to sign. And I think that could happen as well if they want if the Harry Maguire thing comes in, they probably will end up spending 60 or 70 million on one player.
Yeah, that looked like that could be a huge fee if that does go through.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a very interesting summer. Like we just talked about the top 6, but like in the rest of Europe, Real Madrid are already at like 200 million spent. I think,
and that's before, and that means that 200 million being spent means that they have to get players going.
Exactly. Barcelona have already spent money on, or have they brought in players yet?
No.
Yeah, they brought in Frankie de Jong.
Oh, Frankie de Jong.
We still have the Matthijs de Ligt question of where he ends up.
Yeah, well, that will also depend on who goes where and what money. Like Real Madrid, I think we could do this exercise with Real Madrid as well and see from their a goalie will be sold, whether it's Keylor Navas or it's Courtois. One of them is going for a bit of money. Defenders are going to be sold, whether it's Marcelo or not. It's yet to be seen. Midfielders are going to be sold, whether it's Modric, Kroos, Casemiro. All of them are, all of them could be sold, but I don't think they'll sell all of them in one summer. But they're available. Gareth Bale, James, Benzema could be sold.
Yeah.
And then you have all these little, like I say, but like the likes of Isco, the likes of Vasquez. Asensio,
Mateo Kovacic
is going home to Real Madrid. Like all of these players could all be sold. That's a whole team gone, and that's easily 200 million made up as well.
They should just replace Chelsea, starting a new club.
Given we say often that a lot of teams can't do that whole wholesale sell 8.
If a team is going to do it, it's going to be Real Madrid.
Yeah, because last season you can see at the end of the season, Zidane was thrown in the towel. These guys are gone. Like they lost so many matches in the season, they played so poorly. He was gone.
They were lucky they were able to finish 4th or whatever it was.
They were planning for next season already.
Yeah.
They were planning for this season coming, and I think they are going to do that. They're going to do those wholesale changes. Zidane's going to work with them, and they're going to see. I think they'll start year 0 again come the end of August, beginning of September when the new season starts.
Yeah, and obviously we'll report on transfer stuff when they actually happen, because we expect a lot to happen this summer, especially because there's no real major tournament for most teams. Like obviously Copa America and stuff is on, AFCON, but like not a lot.
World Cup.
Well, the Women's World Cup isn't going to affect the men's game,
I suppose,
in terms of transfers.
We'll see.
But like there aren't a lot of South American players of these clubs that are actually playing Copa America. There's not a lot of African players playing for these clubs that will look to be going. So
we'll see. Like any of these stars could erupt during any of these tournaments.
Yeah, that'll be interesting as well. If someone really has an amazing AFCON or an amazing Copa or even an amazing Gold Cup.
Who knows?
Yeah, some bright upstart American might blow the world away.
Yeah, easily.
Be signed by Manchester United for £70 million.
Definitely going to happen.
You heard it here first. And it won't even be Christian Pulisic either, so that's how you know it's a real...
Girl, we forgot about Christian Pulisic. He's coming into Chelsea. We forgot to mention him at all.
No, that was done 6 months ago.
I know, just you forget about it. But he is going to be like a new signing.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm looking forward to this summer anyway. We'll have episodes here and there, I suppose. We don't have a defined schedule right now.
No, but as news crops up, we'll probably do something about it.
Yeah, we might do
a few
specials as well. I think we've got something we've been planning for a while that we should probably get done at some point.
Yeah, at some point.
I've got the box for it over there.
Oh, teaser people.
Well, box is maybe too strong of a word. So
okay.
Well, like look at it, it's tiny. Do you want to call that a box?
Yeah.
So I think that'll do us for this week. And for this season, I think we'll call it a wrap for 2018-2019. I know the international season technically doesn't finish till Monday or Tuesday, but I think we're just going to call it a day. Ireland won, Denmark won. What a result. Shane Duffy.
Shane Duffy.
He's replaced Shane Long. So, that's the end of the season. I think it's been a okay one. Not the worst season I can remember.
No. Not the best.
Not the best.
Yeah. Last season was probably better, but we move on.
Yeah. Hopefully next season will be more entertaining.
Onwards and upwards.
We'll have our prediction show as well in August if you just want to, ignore football for the summer.
Yeah. Come back then.
We'll be back in August for sure. We'll be back in
we'll be back over the summer.
Yeah, we'll have episodes here and there. So thank you for listening. Thank you for enjoying us for the season. Thank you for being here, Andrew.
Thank you for having me.
And we'll have Marcelo Bielsa watch.
Oh yeah, Bielsa watch will never leave us.
We'll always have Bielsa watch. Thank you for listening and goodbye. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, then don't forget you can tell family and friends about the show. Spread the word of the Total Football Takeover. You can also follow us on social media at the TF Pod on Twitter and Total Football Pod on Instagram. We can also be found on podcast services including Spotify by searching Total Football Podcast. The more the merrier. That's what we always say.